Okay, I am on the phone with Chris Jericho of Fozzy. How are you doing, Chris?
Rockin', how you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. All the better for talking to you. The main event of this interview will be Sonisphere, but I can't avoid the question, how was it like on Dancing with the Stars?
No, it was great. It was a great experience and a lot harder than I thought it was going to be as far as the training regimen and all that sort of stuff. But I think it surprised a lot of people, and I had a really good time. It was a blast.
Were you happy to get as far as you did? I think you were fifth person out.
Yeah, I lasted 6 weeks on the show. I think I probably could have went another couple of weeks, but yeah, I was really happy with it. I was more happy with the content. Like, I think 3 out of the 6 dances I did were really, really good. And if there was like going to be a greatest hits of Dancing with the Stars season 12, I think they'd be included on it. So, yeah, like I said, I don't think people expected that I'd be able to do what I did, and it's definitely a good a good way to expand my profile in the States. That's for sure.
You've certainly done a lot of things. You just recently had a #1 bestseller. You've got the band, obviously, and the wrestling and the dancing. So how does it feel to be a kind of completely universal in the entertainment world?
Well, I mean, that's what I always kind of considered myself to be. I mean, even though I started wrestling when I was 19, I started playing in bands when I was 12. So I always wanted to be, in a rock band. And I took journalism in college, so I always was a writer as well. So they kind of all come from the same place: wrestling, singing, writing, even dancing and acting. It's all part of being creative and just expressing yourself and being an entertainer. So they're all just kind of extensions of who I am as a person. And yeah, it's a lot of hard work. So it's nice when it pays off and you get some of these accolades. That's for sure.
So moving on to the band, what are you doing until your June tour kicks off?
Well, we just played last week in Los Angeles, and then we're going at the beginning of June to do some shows in Canada and some shows in New York, and then we'll be rehearsing and getting ready for the big summer tour that starts June 28th, I think it is. And we're going, as you know, coming over to England, but we're also doing France, Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, Switzerland, Germany. So there's like, I think 8 or 9 countries that we're doing.
So how different is doing a Fozzy tour to doing, say, a WWE tour?
Well, I mean, what is the difference? I mean, it's hard to say because, I mean, there's probably, it's a little bit of a different vibe when you're traveling with Fozzy because, you get into your tour bus and you kind of crawl into your bunk and you crash out at, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and then you kind of go to sleep until you have to get up for sound check the next day at 4. So there's a little bit less responsibility. I guess you're kind of more taken care of when you're on tour with Fozzy, whereas the WWE you kind of have to be more on your own and be more responsible. And it's fun to have the tour manager kind of lead you around and tell you what you got to do when you're on tour with the band, which with the WWE you don't have that. You got to be really responsible for your own thing.
Yeah, so it's a little more rock and roll.
Yeah, man, exactly. Rock and roll is a little more fun.
The highlight for us personally on your tour will be Sonisphere. What's it like thinking that you get to play Nebworth, which is such a historical music venue?
Yeah, I know it's huge. I mean, we really worked hard to get this gig, and not just for where it is and the prominence of it, but the other bands that are performing. I mean, anytime you can be on the same festival as Metallica and Anthrax, and Slayer, Slipknot, Motorhead, Megadeth. I mean, there's so many great bands that are playing on this show, and for us to be included on it in any capacity was a huge deal for us. And also a huge testament to how far the band has come over the last few years. So we're really looking forward to it. It kind of happens right in the middle of the tour, which is cool. It's not right at the beginning and it's not right at the end. There's still a lot more rocking to do when it's done. So we're ready, man. We're ready to come there and tear the house down for sure.
I can imagine the answer to this question, but we always ask someone playing a festival, what would be your dream lineup for a festival?
I think you got it right now. I mean, what more could you ask for other than the big four and, Slipknot, and like I said, Motorhead's there, and so many other great bands, and the fact that Fozzy's on that bill as well. I got the poster at home up on my wall, Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, Motorhead, and Fozzy. What more do you want?
Awesome. At Sonisphere, you're playing the Jaeger stage. Has Chris Jericho ever had a Jaeger bomb?
I invented those damn things, man. Yeah, I had my experiences with Mr. Jaeger years ago, and we decided to part ways.
Okay, so let's say that there are going to be quite a lot of people who may have never heard Fozzy before. What can they expect from your show?
Well, we take great pride in the energy that we bring to every one of our shows and the vibe that we have. I mean, we go out of our way to make sure that everybody has a good time whenever we play, and whether it's the biggest stage in the world or the smallest club, we'll play anywhere. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been able to tour England 10 times over the last few years, is because people constantly want to see us because they know what they're going to get, which is a good time. Some great music, some great players, and just a good vibe. And we definitely, like I said, pride ourselves in the fact that we go out of our way to make sure that everybody has a blast.
Brilliant. So after the tour, what's next for Fozzy?
Well, we're already working on doing a tour of the States in the fall. We're trying to hit Japan in October, go back to Australia in September possibly, or February, and start working on a new record that we also want to release in about February of next year.
And what about Chris Jericho yourself? So any plans to maybe get back into wrestling or anything new that you haven't done?
No plans to get back into wrestling. Working on a couple of the gigs that kind of stem from the Dancing with the Stars experience. Going to start working on a third book in a little while. I just signed a deal for that. So there's always lots of stuff going on in Jericho land for sure.
And finally, some friends of ours who are also playing Sonisphere, Don Broco, there's a kind of a shot in the dark. They want to know if you would be willing to come on stage with them and do one song with them.
Yeah, if we're there at the same time, and yeah, absolutely, for sure.
I'll let them know. I think they'll be very happy.
But only if they do a Duran Duran song.
I think they'd probably be open to that. It's not quite their sound, but if they manage to get Chris Jericho on board, I think. Okay, that's awesome.
Thanks, brother.
So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to the tour and everything.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait.
Well, we are too. So yeah, thanks very much.